Get connected, Fitchburg. Sign up for Fitchburg Connect, the city's monthly e-newsletter that keeps you informed about all the events, services, and updates that matter to you. Get it in your inbox once a month. Sign up today to get Fitchburg Connect.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Crosby.
And I'm Nick Boucher. We're your hosts for the program that's all about your city, Talking Fitchburg.
Every weekday, we pull together the news, events, and information you need to stay on top of what's happening in the city of Fitchburg.
Find Talking Fitchburg on cable TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and our live stream on the web. Plus, you can find all our headlines and stories on Facebook, YouTube, and our video on demand service. This is your city.
Keep up with Talking Fitchburg and the issues affecting you and your neighbors.
Welcome to the March meeting of the Library Board. Call the meeting to order at 5:30. Public appearances, none, I believe. And then looking at the minutes from last month's meeting. Anybody have any? I should, I guess, ask for a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
John, thank you. And in any comments, questions, corrections, or anything? Did not see anything. Okay. So, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? None. Financial report. May I have a motion to approve the December financial register and overview?
So moved.
Thank you.
All right, go over just a couple of things. In the register, I'm sad to report that there are quite a few charges in 240, which is the work done by others at the library. This is the account that is very neglected in 2026, and we had hoped to carry over as much as we could from 2025. This is December, and we spent a lot of money on the solar inverter. We did do a budget amendment to move $5,000 from other places. But in that vein, we also got another bill for the furnace repair that happened in November that had to be paid out of 2026 for about $3,000. So we are not in a good spot in that account, which is not a surprise, but I had hoped to get past March before that happened. Other thing, in account 340, you'll see two charges to bits and pieces for puzzles. So we got an unexpected donation towards the end of the year, so we put that into puzzles, and we got some that were adult interest level, but larger pieces, so people with memory issues can have puzzles that aren't child focused, I guess. Childish, I don't know. And then also some that have like smaller pieces on one end and go up to bigger pieces, so family puzzles, so people with different abilities can work on them. That came out of 340 because it was a donation and we ordered it as a supply. We did count it as a collection expense. We have so far, this is the only money that we've put towards puzzles, is donation money. So that's kind of why it ended up where it did. Oh, Lisa, I'm so glad you're here for this because in the 387 account, there's 1,000 charges to Amazon.
Oh, that's me. Yes,
When
sorry.
we purchase books for our 10 Kindles? 10 Kindles? Six. Thank you.
Yep.
I overshot there. When we purchase books for the Kindles, we can get 6 copies, and so we buy a copy and it goes on all of them, but we have to buy them individually. So hence the many charges there. I think that's all for the register. On the overview, as I mentioned last month, we are overspent in quite a few accounts here, but this is before we true up the budget amendments that went through at the end of the year. So when we bring this back as an audited version next month, we will have corrected all of that. So some of the budget amounts will change, but we should not be overspent as we are in some of these, especially the utility account. We will still be overspent, I think, in that WRS account, the 132. That is budgeted by the finance department, so not really it's in our budget, but we don't We don't make those numbers. So I'm not too worried about that. You'll also see that we are underspent in the disability insurance. They have not charged us premiums for probably 5 or 6 years now. That will disappear into another account because that was part of a budget amendment. Other than that, I think things turned out pretty well here. Any questions, concerns as we get to the end of the year? It's kind of nice to see things finish out the year.
So we ended the year, all things considered, $43,000 on the right side of the history, or am I
If
looking
you
at the wrong
actually
one?
look down into the little pink box there, grand total revenue year-to-date less grand total expenses, we until, I think this is going to end up being the number, but I'm not going to swear right yet, the 69,880.
Even better.
Yeah, which is fairly typical for us. There have been years, certainly the COVID years, we had more money to put into fund balance, but that does go into fund balance and finances the extra projects that we do. So always good to see that. And we will also update the CIP purchase, and the green box says that we spent $236. That is what was budgeted. We did not spend that much. We were pretty economical with the second floor redesign, so that should be quite a bit lower.
Anything, well, I guess that's this year. Yeah, I was just thinking the children's redesign, but that's this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, and we are starting to get things scheduled for that, but haven't expended any funds yet.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions?
I have one.
Yeah.
So when money gets pulled out of when the 240 is overspent, where does that money then come from? From elsewhere?
Typically, anywhere that we've got money left that
Okay.
that we had budgeted but didn't spend. The $5,000 that we moved into 240, Mariah can attest, was bits and pieces from a lot of different accounts. So, I mean, I think I took $100 from one account and just kind of pieced it together.
Gotcha, thanks.
Yeah.
It's like a puzzle, dare
It
I
is.
say.
It is. With some big pieces and some little pieces.
Other questions or comments? All right, then I'll ask for vote for approval. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. I was for approval? Okay, all right. That's the delay here, so, all right, thank you. And then unfinished business, I do not think we have anything there.
We do not like unfinished business.
The new business, and you've got several things for us to look at.
Yes. Lisa is here. Lisa is our digital services librarian, and she has, so as you all know, we bring a little section of policies to you every couple of months. So that they are, by the end of the year, they are all renewed. So kick it off, Lisa.
Okay. So, we don't need a motion or anything, right?
Yeah, we probably should do it that way.
Sorry. Okay.
So,
For each
Thank
one.
you.
Yeah.
ask for each one, or can we do them as a blanket?
Each
We
one.
usually do each one.
Okay, well, the first one to look at then is the computer internet use policy.
Okay.
Motion to review,
Approve.
discuss.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, and go ahead.
Okay. Causing trouble already. So, computer interuse policy, for those of you who've been here before, they're kind of familiar with it. So this covers the use of computers and internet in the library, as you think. So kind of guidelines for people where they can't view anything illegal, essentially covering use of ethics and giving us permission to limit use if people kind of break this policy. The only minor change that I found in here that we looked at was on the second page where it says food is prohibited in the technology center. As you know, with the second floor refresh project in 2025, we got rid of the technology
Yes.
center. So this is no longer necessary in this policy because we don't have it anymore. We have the nice living room now. So I just took that out of there entirely. Currently, we do allow people to kind of like snack at the computer stations that we have that we moved out of the technology center. And we haven't really seen a problem with that, so. And then the last one is just changing the date pending approval.
Okay, questions? And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And then motion to look at the wireless access policy.
I can make that motion.
Thank you.
All right, so wireless access policy, this one works kind of in conjunction with that computer internet use policy. This kind of covers more people's mobile devices and the use of our open network. It's pretty standard. It just gives us the right to limit patrons' time on the network if we need to, have people keep their devices with them at all times, and we have kept this policy pretty much as is for a
Yeah.
while, and it's worked for us.
Yeah.
So.
What, have there been any enforcements regarding this policy?
Not really, no. It's just mainly to let people know that we do have an unsecure network, and so we're not responsible for people's wireless devices, essentially, for what they're accessing or anything. Yeah.
Other questions or comments? All right, then all in favor say aye on the wireless access policy. Aye.
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 Social media policy, a motion to review and approve.
I make a motion.
Thank you, Dane.
All right. So social media covers social media use at the library. So currently, the library has a Facebook and an Instagram. The Instagram is more of a teen account, which other staff work on. This is mainly to lay out that we use this primarily as a marketing platform rather than a open forum, I guess is the technical term for it. We are beholden to the city and what they have used with their policies. And so we didn't have any changes here.
I will just
Yes.
jump in. We were advised years ago by our insurance company that if we allow free commenting on this, we are creating an open forum, and then we are not legally allowed to delete anything that is said. At that point, we stopped allowing commenting and are just using it as a PR. I think there are some other departments that have maybe strayed away from that. I think it's worked really well for us. I have seen some other libraries go through some really horrible things with people kind of targeting them, and not local people generally. So I think it's wise to keep it the way that it is.
So one-way communication, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. And we do interact with other city pages, like we share some of their posts or
Yeah.
vice versa.
Yeah, and I get that this is not the way that social media was designed to be used, but I think in a business atmosphere, it's the smart way to go.
Yeah. What's the risk? What's the value of having two-way communication, too?
Right, and frankly, we don't have the time to. Right, people want answers when they ask questions. They want answers immediately, and we are not going to monitor this 24/7. So,
Okay. Other comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then the 3D printer policy, motion to review and approve.
I'll make that motion.
Thanks, Logan.
So 3D printer policy covers 3D printer use in the library. So this one I had some minor changes to. So originally the library was, I think the Friends gave us 2 MakerBot printers. And they aged out, totally fair. So we upgraded and we now only have 1. So this is changes to reflect that, to let people know that, no, we don't have multiple printers, we have 1. I also changed the phrasing slightly, saying it is available for the public to submit digital files, just to make it a little clearer that people don't have hands-on access, which it does say later in the policy. But if you don't get that far, I wanted to make it a little clearer in the phrasing that it is still something that they submit to us, that they're available for public to have things made for them.
yeah. When we got the first 2 MakerBots, they were open on the sides. So I think we had visions of having it out in the public so people could see it, and we did demos with it, but because it was open-sided, you just couldn't risk people putting their hands in there. And then we realized over time, how very finicky they are. And so having it out for the public to use just seems like a bad idea. The investment is too high. So we accept their plans. Lisa works with them to choose colors and sizes and all that kind of stuff. And then we print it in the back room and set it out. It also often has to run overnight. And so, having it in the back room, I think,
Does
is
it get
smarter.
used
It does, yeah.
regularly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I sometimes have a queue. I don't at the moment, but I did have someone email me today, and so I'm going to work with them on, I don't know what they want to submit yet, but.
Sometimes you can't even tell what it is they're printing out. It's for a cosplay costume or something, so it's parts to something, but you don't really know.
Or
they
fast for
mostly-
IKEA stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Are they
kinds of
mostly school projects or?
I want to say there's a lot of DIY home
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
like something broke on something I have and I wanted to replace just a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a fair number of like Dungeons and Dragons
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
I don't really understand that world, so I can't really
Little
speak to
pieces and, yeah.
what they're printing, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know, dice holders and stuff.
Yeah.
And we charge for the
Yes.
service?
We charge, what is it? Like, just cost of filament. So like
Yeah.
whatever we pay,
Yeah.
they pay just
And that
cost
is
of filament.
purposely not in here so that we can change that as a
As
procedure,
costs
not
change,
policy.
yeah.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Do we have software to design things on any of the library computers here, or does somebody have to use a personal device
They
to?
can do it here, it's just web-based.
So there are cloud-based, like, web-based services, not cloud-based, apologize.
Yeah.
There are free web-based services that they can use here.
Okay.
To design stuff.
I think
You don't
people
need
that-
like an Adobe subscription?
No,
or
no,
something like that? Okay.
Correct.
I think there are people that print here that have that, like that want to get fancier with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you then regularly have to go check to update drivers and stuff like that on the printer?
Not too often. It works pretty well. I update it every once in a while, but it's
Yeah.
stable.
Yeah, and our current one is a Dremel, which I find interesting. I didn't know before we got this one that they did that. And I think this one has been, you should really say this, not me. I think this one has been easier to work with. than the last
100%.
one.
So much better.
And quieter.
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
It used to be very loud in Lisa's office.
they
If
were
you had both
very
of the
loud.
MakerBots going at the same time, it was kind of terrible.
Yes, and they failed a lot. This one is much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other questions or comments on the?
I have a question.
Yeah.
One of my friends does this commercially,
Uh-huh.
and I'm wondering why the library is doing it. What functions does it of the library?
I think it provides access to this at a lower cost. So we're just charging for the cost of the filament, so not for the use of the printer. So I think it's just a more economical. Yeah.
Is there, you've got some restrictions here, but is there a limit as to size of project or?
So there
time-
is.
Time of the machine running, or?
So far, we haven't really limited by time. I do try to let people know when I work up their project, like how long it will take them. It might take a little longer depending on if it fails or not. There is like the plate that you print on is a certain size, and I like to send people those dimensions when I send them the information, just so they know they have a certain space to work with. I have had people who take bigger things and chop them into pieces, so then they can piece it together later. But yeah, so there is a limited space.
I asked Lisa if we could 3D print the Costco cart tray that I've seen online.
That is a little too
can't.
large.
It's too big. That's very sad.
Oh, my gosh.
Anything else regarding 3D printer? Then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then on to meeting room policy.
All right, so we need a motion.
Motion to, okay, thanks, Brent.
Excellent. All right. Meeting room policy is one of our more extensive policies, I guess you could say. We didn't see any changes for this year. This covers obviously meeting room use, types of meetings that are allowed, conduct while they're here, essentially. We have fine-tuned this a lot over the years. We've made a lot of changes, and as things have occurred and what we've seen, because we didn't really know what people would do when they're using the space or how it was going to work. So, yes, this has been fine-tuned.
It's nice to
Do a
have a
lot
year
of
that we're
work.
not changing.
Yes, yes, it is.
Surprising to have a year that we're not
Because
changing.
we do go through it each year and see if there's anything we've seen or
Kind
that,
of based on what issues we've had.
what's happened, yeah, uh-huh.
That would indicate probably not major enforcement this year, right? That you
Right.
had to review it, reflect.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, we do a fair amount of emailing people after a meeting saying, you didn't put the tables away, you didn't take the trash out. Reminders.
Just reminding them to
But we haven't encountered anything that we haven't seen before, I guess.
Correct.
Is
Yep.
the good news. Yeah.
So no major losses or any risks to manage?
No.
All right.
No.
Yeah.
You will notice that I do not write on the screen, because that's new.
Yeah.
Other comments or concerns about the meeting room policy?
Yeah, I have a question on collaboration with other city meeting areas. How does that work?
Such as,
The senior center has several meeting rooms.
Yeah.
And
for sure, we have other departments that meet here. This applies to them as well. I have had some city departments that want to use it at all hours, and we just don't allow that. So, like, access gets to be a problem.
is that based on the location of the room or the purpose of the meeting?
They're using it? Both, I would say. Police facility that's being built next door, they've had a lot of like planning meetings in here because I think it's a good size. And if there just aren't any rooms, I'm sure that they look for a room at City Hall first. But if they can't find one there, they'll come here. I think sometimes it's also nice for groups to just get off site. So if you're a department that's based at City Hall, coming over here can be kind of a little break. So, yeah.
And that may happen less, I would imagine, with the City Hall renovation that will likely happen once the police services facility opens.
I think we'll see an uptick while they're under construction and then probably less. I think there's going to be more facilities over there than we have.
Yeah, there's quite a few
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
conference spaces of all different sizes in the preliminary sketches of what I've seen. So.
Yep.
So just out of curiosity, for people who work with the city's department, is there a central reservation system that everybody can then check out?
There's
who has
not.
meeting room available?
So it's different in every building practically. So because our rooms are open to the public, we need software that the public can access. City Hall does their meeting rooms that are not open to the public, that are just open to city staff through Outlook. So that, because they don't need the public to get to it.
Yeah.
The community center is different yet because they often are charging fees and taking registrations. So they need different functionality. So we're kind of all different, which is not ideal. But we're pretty good about sharing, like if we have someone who, there's a date that is not open or they've exceeded their limit, we'll direct them to the community center to see. They charge for some groups over there. I think maybe if you're a nonprofit, you don't get charged. There are different rules over there.
Yeah.
But also different hours because you can reserve those rooms on, I think in the evenings that you can't hear. And you can have parties over there that you can't have here. So kind of different uses. Yeah.
Okay. Other questions or comments?
I just want to say I really like the policy. I think it's very tight.
Yeah.
And I like that you put that section in about the review and appeal. That takes the pressure off of you as library staff.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I've worked with these policies a lot in the past, and yeah, it looks really good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, good. So, all in favor of the approving the meeting room policy, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yes, thank you.
You can go have fun on the reference desk now.
So then, last month, we talked a little bit about the annual DPI report that Wendy and I had signed, but it was signed just a couple days before our meeting, so it was not time to get it out in the packet earlier, so we'll go through that.
Yep. I suppose we should have a motion to.
Motion to approve, or to review and approve the DPI report.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
All right, so this is kind of boring, and I apologize in advance, but this is the report that we have to submit to DPI, Department of Public Instruction. Every library in Wisconsin does it, but then also all of that information is given to the IMLS, the Institute of Museum and Library Sciences. So really everybody in the country is doing this. The form is a little weird, and I'll point out some things. What I mean by that, it takes like 4 years to get a change made in this process because it has to go through so many levels of like state and then federal. IMLS still exists at this point. They were attempted to be disbanded. A court order came back and said that they couldn't be disbanded, so they do still exist, but I don't think they're at the same force that they're at, so I don't know where this will go in the future. But this also goes into, because it's in DPI, we can go in, I don't think it's been posted yet, it takes them probably half of a year to get all of the information put in, and then we can go in and look at everybody in the state. So when we were doing strategic planning, and we were looking at other libraries as part of the environmental scan. That's where we pulled a lot of information. So this helps everybody in the state if you're looking to expand like services, buildings. So it's valuable information. It takes a lot of time, kind of dry. I'll just run through it real fast. Please feel free to stop me at any point for questions. The first part is just real basic. Where are we? Who's the director? Are we legally formed? We are. 38,000 square feet is the size of this building. You go into hours of operation. This typically does not change from year to year. It did change during COVID, and there were exceptions made. You know, this is, hours open is one of the Dane County library standards that we have to meet. We are not very far above the standard, so we could not reduce hours at this point. So this is, I don't expect this to change. We account for Sundays during the school year, no Sundays during the summer. And we come up to that total there. So that's standard. Moving on to library collections. So this shows how many items we own. Books in print, physical subscriptions, that's going to be magazines and newspapers. Physical audio material, so that's going to be an audiobook or a digital audio player, not to be confused with like Libby audiobooks. That comes later. Physical video material, so DVDs. Other physical materials are going to be the Kindles that we check out, the video games that we check out. Puzzles went into this category this year, so we saw a big jump in this number. We have a wattage meter that we check out that MG&E donated to us. So that the laptops, we've got charging cables, that kind of stuff goes into other. So our total collection size is 109,000, which I think is good. This used to be something that was a Dane County standard, and we did a lot of discussing and ended up removing it as a standard because we wanted to be able to put more money into digital items instead of physical. Physical items check out much better if there are fewer of them. So if you pack your shelves full, you may feel like you've got a better collection, but people can't see stuff as easily, so it doesn't check out as well. So this is a good number. I don't feel like we're jam-packed. We have certain areas of the collection that we need to shift because they're tight, but that happens in every library. So I think we're in a good place there. Moving on to ebooks, e-serials. This is just saying that we own them. And then down at the bottom of the page, you'll see electronic content circulation. So we don't own these because we're part of Libby and Overdrive, which is a statewide collection. But you'll see that we get into physical circulations, 290,000. It's down, I think Phil said last time, 0.7%. I think almost every library in the system went down. We are still very solidly number 7, highest circulating in the county for what's in the system for what that is worth. Interlibrary loan, items loaned to, provided from is an interesting one. So this is being in a consortium. How many things do we send out to other libraries and how many things do we take in for our patrons from other libraries? Those are about equal, which is a really good place to be. It means we've got good stuff that other people want, but we're also getting in plenty of stuff from other libraries that our patrons want. So that's a good balance, I think. So then we go down into electronic circulation. So, you know, people always say, like, everybody's reading on a Kindle and you don't need to have physical books. But if you look at that circulation, it's good. It's going up. It's probably going up fast. It's going up faster, obviously, than print that has gone down a little bit. But it's still nowhere in the range of, like, it's not replacing physical for sure. They have us split out children's materials. Then we get into registered users. So we're about a little less than 16,000. That has stayed pretty steady. I think we saw that, a graph about that last month in the environmental scan. I think that's fairly steady. I think that's kind of standard from what I've seen. One thing that did change pretty drastically this year, if you look at number 7 down at the bottom there, library visits. So this was the first year that we had a full year of actual count. So because we installed the people counters and we have an actual count from every day. Before that, we had security gates that did kind of a not great count. And we had to put caution tape on the side so we didn't miss any people. And we would choose 2 weeks a year to do like a survey week. And we always chose the busiest weeks of the year because why wouldn't you? So last year's total was 150 and we're down to 140. But I think this is just more accurate. So not worried about that. We'll see. Like I would expect it now going forward to be pretty steady, I hope. Number of public use computers, this is another one that is a Dane County Library standard. We are very far above. I think we're required to have 16 computers. We have 32, so we're fine. It has gone down a little bit. We took a couple out when we got rid of the tech center and the family computing center, but have not seen any kind of backup for need of them. So many people have their own devices now. Wireless, we talked about this, I think, last month a little bit. The company that does our wireless access points, for some reason, completely changed how they're counting things and can't exactly explain why. So we ended up this is just 9 months of the year, not the full year. And we are seeing much higher numbers monthly this year. So still no explanation that I can get. All right, moving along. Programs and attendance, this is fantastic. We had a lot of programs. We had a lot of people at our programs. I think I've mentioned before, but we had more programs last year for adults than we ever have. So that was good. We're happy to see that. You'll also then see a category for live and virtual. That is a holdover from the pandemic, so they added that in, and we have not been able to get it back out again. A lot of what's on this page is a result of that. So we had to do a lot of accounting for how we were doing programming when we were closed to the public. You don't do that anymore, so it kind of looks like wasted space. But happy with that. Then you see your smiling faces on the next page. Then we get into revenue. Yeah.
My last name spelled wrong.
Oh, no. Correct me.
It's so long. Understandable.
Okay. I will make a note of that. I'm not going to mark on this, but we will. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
That way I'm not found.
They can't find you.
And my email address is wrong.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, I should maybe send this out to you
Even
guys
nobody
before
can email you.
Yeah, I know. I'm okay with it.
Library.
All right, I am going to double check because we keep this in a different place, and Tim, we're going to double check that.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Make sure we've got everything. Thank you. Okay, operating revenue. What I should have said at the beginning of this whole presentation is that this is all information that you have seen a lot through the year. It's just kind of organized differently, and they kind of add things differently at times. But none of this should really be a surprise because this is all coming out of the finance reports that you guys have been seeing all year. So we've got our municipal levy rate there, which is, as always, the biggest part of our revenue. We've got some county funding. We've got adjacent county funding, a grant from South Central that we get for summer reading. So then we end up totaling that out. And then I always find this interesting at the bottom, what is the appropriation for this year? So this is their way of kind of checking to make sure that our budget has not been gutted by our municipality from one year to the next. I appreciate it. Moving on, then we go into expenditures. Will come as no surprise to this group that salaries and benefits are the biggest part of our expenditures. So you'll see those at the top. Then we go into print collection expenditures. So they have us split it into print. When you see the register come through every month in the report, and we always say adult print, youth AV, that's why, because we have to split it out here. To tell them what we're buying. So print materials, electronic, and then somewhere in here they're going to ask about youth. We used to have to do more slicing and dicing about audio-visual items because I think back in the day when VCR tapes were very expensive, people were not wanting to spend money on them, whole thing. So it needs to be updated a little bit, I'm just saying. Anyway. Then we go into what they consider a contract. So our contract with South Central, our admin fee with the city, our overdrive expenses, and then a couple more city. So essentially what I'm doing is taking the big finance report that we look at every month, and I'm just highlighting in different colors what needs to go into what section of this report. So it all totals the same when you put it back together, I guess. Capital. I had to double check this with them because this is the second floor redesign. They have a very long paragraph about what counts as a renovation versus I guess, just refurbishment, and I really felt like this fell into the latter and shouldn't be separated, but at South Central felt like it should. So I took this $138,000 out of the fund balance and put it here to say that we expended it on a capital project. Then you'll see other funds held that as fund balance. I feel like that should be a little bit lower, but again, this is unaudited. They know when they demand to have this in February that this is unaudited, so that'll be fine. Next page is staff, so you can see all the staff. It looks like fewer positions than we have because we are mushing together any people that are in the same job description. So a good example of that is the library assistant 3. That's 80 hours. When I fill this out, there's another column in here, and I get to say how many hours it is, but that doesn't make it to the final draft. So library assistant 2, youth services, that's 4 people. Oh no, there's hours at the end. So we just add those all up differently. This is where we get our FTE count, which is part of a Dane County standard that we have to meet to exempt from the library tax. So that is a very important number that we come up with there. We then add to that number because we came out, does it show the total? Yeah, so 19.6, that's on the next page. FTE, then we add 1.0 for the sorter, we add 1.25 for the self-check machines, and we add, I think it was 1.38 this year for positions that we pay for at the city through the admin fee. So that's where we get our total FTE, and we are meeting standards, so that's good. All right, public library loans of material to non-residents. This gets real down into the nitty-gritty of who lives in a different community that either has a library or doesn't have a library, and how does money change hands for that. So you'll see here the circulation numbers. This is the adjacent county payment that we got earlier in the report. So there is a dollar amount that is traded back and forth for that.
I'm sorry for
Yeah.
being not very smart. What's the difference between another county and adjacent county?
Yes.
What's
You are only obligated to reimburse an adjacent county for service. So we will serve anyone in the state of Wisconsin, but there is not a payment arrangement for that.
Okay.
Except for adjacent counties. I think this has to do with systems and how they grow. You know, our system is a very odd shape because people keep trying to, like, going north, wanting to
Okay.
get into South Central.
So that's why we have to.
Yeah. And there are a number of communities that sit squarely on a county line. And so they are funded by both. It gets real complicated. So I think that all plays into this.
Yeah.
Who knows? Okay. Then we go back into programming, which makes no sense at all. It should be in a different section, but this was added at a later date, and I think will probably come out someday, but self-directed activity. So we have a scavenger hunt that you can do downstairs that's self-directed. Summer reading is a self-directed activity. So we get a lot of numbers out of this. These numbers used to be in just the regular programming. They pulled them out. It seems complicated to me. And I always get through the whole report thinking I'm done, and then I get to this, and I'm like, right now I just subtract from the other part and put it back in. It's fine. Okay, when we get to the end, we've got a bunch of check boxes here. This is just saying that we are legally, we are operating under the legal statutes of Wisconsin, which we are. The one that I always really like to point out here. Yes.
We need Kagan's last name in here. It's on page 9.
I thought I saw it on mine. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, now they're not going to know who she is either. She might be.
Add her to the list. Yeah. It's like Madonna, Cher, take.
Right? I'm going to tell her that. She's going to love it. A new persona. Okay. The one I always want to point out in this list of checkboxes is the library board has exclusive control of the expenditure of all monies collected, donated, or appropriated for the library fund. This is an important box to be able to talk about because once, I think you've all seen this in action, but once the council appropriates our budget, they can't tell us how to spend it. I spent a lot of time when we first opened reminding some departments that would spend money on our behalf, and then it would just show up in the finance report, and we wouldn't know that it was coming, that you absolutely cannot do that because I have to sign this piece of paper that says that we did this. So this is something I have quoted a lot over the years. Everybody is on board now, and it's not really an issue, but for a while there, it was interesting. Yeah, so this says that you have a director, that you're supervising, that I am certified, and I am. I just got recertified this year, so that's good. Just kind of says that we're doing what we need to do. I also love this one. So I have to be here 4 hours a week, I think is what it says somewhere in here. And we have to spend at least $2,500 on materials, which I think is adorable. Libraries come in all sizes, I guess, is the lesson there. Then on the last page, we get to say whether or not we are satisfied with the services that we're getting from our system, because systems are state mandated. We do have to be a member of one. They want to give you a place to say if your system is failing you and is not performing, which has happened, never in South Central that I know of, but around the state it has happened. So this is also, I think, an important piece of being able to say, like, we are getting what we are paying for from our system. I've said this a lot of times, but we are very lucky to be the size of system that we are, because we have, I think, a lot more resources than some of the smaller ones. So we are fortunate in a lot of ways. And then both Ken and I signed this and sent it in, and we got it in on time, and all was good.
Okay.
Any questions? That's a lot, I know.
When you fill this out, is it like a database that would then do data dump with DPI, or is it?
Yeah, so what I think is kind of an antiquated online system that we have to log into. And they open the form on a certain day, and there are a lot of people that jump right into it, and I sit on it for 3 or 4 days because there inevitably is an email saying, like, oh, it doesn't seem to be saving anybody's information.
Oh.
Just give us a minute and we'll fix it. And so
But you are entering all this. It's not a data dump where you just.
Oh, no, I'm typing this all in.
Mesh it with another spreadsheet.
I will say a lot of it pre-fills. All the circulations, none of the money stuff pre-fills, because that nobody knows that at the South Central level. But a lot of the information that comes out about circulation and items owned, a lot of that comes pre-filled from South Central. And that's because South Central is great. That adjacent county calculation, we used to have to go through a database or a spreadsheet that was miles long about every village, municipality, township in our system that had, all of the adjacent, that either had a library or didn't. And then there was another one. So there's one that said if it had a library or didn't, and there's one that said how many times they had checked out. But they didn't line up. Like, there were things that had been flipped, so you couldn't just like mush those together. It was awful. I hated it. And they hired a new data person at South Central, and he automated it. And every year, I think I sent him an email and say, oh my God, thank you. It's like 3 days less of my time.
Yeah.
Because you get through all these calculations, and then you'd send it to them and be like, no, this one's off by 7. I'm like, but if you know that. Like, I feel like this is a test, and I'm failing it, but I don't know why, and nobody could ever explain why. And every director, I think, had that same experience. So, Tim Drexler, you're all of our hero. So, yeah. So it's a little bit of both. Some of it is a dump, and some of it is not. It's a lot of time, and it's good. It's good data. Like, I wouldn't not want to have it, but I don't feel that way from like mid-January through February.
Okay. Questions?
Just for clarification.
Yeah.
Once we approve this, do you then enter it and we are done for the year, or this isn't something we need to have come back to us?
It does not. It does not. So when Ken signed it and I signed it, I sent it to our person at South Central who got it into DPI. The deadline was, I think, the end of February. So it has already been submitted.
Okay.
Which is why we voted in January. You all voted to let Ken sign it. That's why we do that, so that we've kind of dotted the i's and crossed the t's. Yeah, but there won't be anything coming back. Occasionally, I think one time since we've opened, something came to light during the audit that then I had to go back to them and be like, we've left something out, and they edited it or whatever they do. So.
Anything else? Okay, so I'll ask for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Very
good. Opposed? Okay. Then, choosing nominating committee.
Yes, so we need 3 people to be on a nominating committee. Some years you're asking new people to be on, to serve as officers, and sometimes you're just trying to convince the current people to do it, so I'll leave that up to you.
So I don't know who was on the nominating committee last year.
I was, and not you. Well, Patrick and I,
I was going to say, I think it's,
Mariah? Yeah.
Mariah. Yeah.
Sure, just say yes.
I think it was me. Yeah.
So if I understand, officers are reapproved or
in May.
reappointed, or appointed anew
Yes.
in May.
Yes, correct.
Each year, okay,
Yes, May is considered our annual meeting.
okay. So, any volunteers for the nominating committee?
Can you clarify what the nominating committee's role is and what their tasks and outcomes or outputs are?
So when we come to the meeting in May, we need someone to be the president, vice president, and treasurer. So you just need to have a slate
Okay.
with those people's permission.
Yeah. The people that have agreed to serve.
Yeah.
the
For 1 year,
Yep.
yeah.
And can people on the nominating committee serve
Yes,
in those?
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, those positions are open to any board member, I think, except Logan probably.
What's our current board membership number?
7.
Okay.
It's really not terrible.
I said it's minimum,
Yeah.
because Patrick just emailed, and I
Yeah.
just do whatever he said.
I think it's basically reaching out to
Yeah.
no more than 6 other people to see if they want to serve on the board as an officer.
In years past, has there ever been an empty seat?
We did not have a vice president initially when I came on, I believe.
Yep, not for long.
Not for
I
long,
mean,
anyway.
sometimes it takes a month or two,
Okay,
Then
if
Rachel
we have
came in.
somebody leave in the middle of a term.
okay. And then you said vice president, vice president.
3 positions.
Treasurer.
Treasurer.
Yes. Yep, so president runs the meeting. Vice president will run the meeting in the absence of the president. And the treasurer approves expenditures over $5,000, but under $25,000 through email. Which is, I think, generally not that painful, Mariah.
No, you do a good job of explaining it, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, I will throw my hat in the ring for nominating committee.
Brett?
Excellent.
I can be on it too again.
Thank you.
One more? I think, Logan, you could probably be on the nominating committee. Dane? All right, thank you. So then, for the May meeting is when all of that'll take place. So between now and then,
Yep.
if the 3 of you can come up with three names for office positions, that'd be great. I think.
My husband's retiring in June.
What's that?
My husband's retiring in June. I can nominate him.
Has to be somebody on the board.
Trying to find something for him to do, huh?
Get them out of the house.
Yeah.
And we can, if you have the slate of officers ready by next month's meeting, that's fine, but we won't vote on it until May. So,
Just a couple of comments.
Yeah.
It's been my experience on serving on other boards that it's usually a conversation with director, chair, vice chair to recommend the individuals. You know, just having that that tenure, that perspective, who's already served in the positions, who would be, you know, I'm sensing there's not a path to the president. You don't serve in treasurer first and then vice and then president.
We've had
Having
eras.
that perspective is
Yeah,
key.
we've had eras of the board where it has been, someone has been vice president and then moved into president when the president's term ends.
Yeah.
But not consistently. so.
Right. I don't know, being new to the board, I don't know it. the group that well.
Yeah. Yes, feel free to reach out if you want to discuss, either with me or with Ken.
Yeah.
Happy to.
Okay. President's report is real brief. I have nothing, so. Move to the library director report.
All right, save the date. The Friends of the Library are going to be throwing a Books and Brews birthday bash for the library. We're turning 15 this year, so June 27th is the date. It's a Saturday evening, and more information about that will be forthcoming. I think the idea, so we had a Books and Brews event in probably,
2015.
oh, thank you, 2015. And it was fantastic. So we had like 5 or 6 brewers from around the state, a lot of them local, but one came from Monroe, and they had, you bought a ticket, you got a little sample glass, and you got to go around to all the breweries and have samples, and we had appetizers at each of the stations. And we did a silent auction and a wine pull and all sorts of stuff. And it was a fantastic time, and everybody said they wanted to come back the next week. And we couldn't do that. And I think we had hoped that it would be an annual event, but it didn't turn out that way. But we're going to try it again. So I'm excited about that.
So that was June 27th?
June 27th.
It'll be in the evening, right?
Yes. So we close at 6, so it won't start before 6. And there will probably be some communication from the Friends Board to the Library Board about either volunteering or silent auction, that kind of stuff. So that'll be coming. Statistics, I don't think anything jumped out at me, except for the wireless sessions, which you can see we had 87,000 in January and 100,000 in February, and February is a shorter month, so it's all very confusing. I don't have really anything to say about that, except that I don't control those numbers, and nobody seems to know why they are what they are. I think we are slated to get possibly slated to get new wireless access points this year. Those come through South Central. I don't think that will change anything, but that's the only number on that jumped out at me. Did anybody have questions about stats?
I have one. It's just kind of a wish list thing more than anything else. As I look at like year-to-date 26, I think one of the things that, if it's even remotely possible, would be great for my standpoint of keeping track, would be kind of like what you do for the financials, where it says, okay, here's what we're kind of, here's how we're pacing for the year. To kind of say, well,
So we put in the total from last year for that reason. Is that not helpful? It doesn't do a percentage.
Yeah, maybe that's...
Maybe the percent. Is it helpful to have the total for the last 3 years? I feel like that's kind of overkill. So we could maybe take those out and add in a percent of last year. But it's going to be it's hard to know what the expectation is, right? Because some years there are more opportunities and some years there are less.
Yeah, I will acknowledge it is not a fully formed thought.
Okay, let's think think on that though.
So I think,
Are you thinking like visual?
Or just
That might help, like pie chart, like
I think,
percentage in color?
yeah, I guess what I think would be great would be just a way to kind of project out and say, are we expecting to get to the same number as last year or exceed it or fall below it?
I think we just don't know, and I don't know that we have firm expectations of it to do either.
Okay.
So I would hesitate to say, this is our goal, and then not meet it, because then I feel like that could be for any number of reasons.
Yeah, it's a lot of variables, I think.
Right.
That are uncontrolled variables.
Right. Let's noodle on that, though, and see if there's something that we
You could
think of.
certainly do a line chart, 2024, 2025, 2026. In comparison month to month or whatever.
That might be a good option.
But as far as identifying, here's where we want to be, I mean, that's blue sky.
Right.
And what does it mean? But
Yeah.
If you're looking at trends, you could do
Right.
a trend
Yeah.
line for each year.
Yeah, I think that would be,
And maybe what
kind
we
of
should
what I'm
think
looking
about is at the end of the year, doing that, like taking the whole thing with the last few years and doing that as a visual,
yeah.
so that we can see where things are, but not, without like putting expectations on this that we
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
kind of justify, if that makes sense. I just feel like we were closed on Monday because of snow. Like, what if we had had a huge program that day? Then we're going to be down, but we have a reason, but we can't, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't reflect.
Yeah, and I think, your wireless session example,
Right.
the numbers this
That's
year are
gonna
just
look
way
crazy.
off the chart
Right.
compared to the last 2 years. I mean, we're over halfway, we've already met more
Right.
than halfway what we did the last couple of years, so.
I will also say that I think the way in which I find this information useful is just to be able to say to someone like, this is what we've done, like, in the last year. Typically, what I'll do is take 25 and say, like, last year we circulated this many items when people are interested in how much business the library does. Or we average this many people in a month as visitors. So I feel like the look back is really what's helpful. I don't know. Let's think that over, and if anyone has an idea, feel free to email Tim and I, and we'll take a look. All right, moving on to facilities. I mentioned in the finance report, but we had another really big bill for the evening that the heat pump went out at like 4:30, and it was screaming in the basement, and we had to cut the power to it. That pump was rebuilt, and we got a good deal on that. We brought back the company that installed it, and they rebuilt the pump instead of having to buy a new one, which was quoted as being like between $7,000 and $10,000. So that, I was very appreciative of that, but it wasn't until March that we realized we were missing a bill for that original visit, which was, they come out that night, or they were out the next day, I think, for probably half of a day. So I was not happy to see that, but we 100% need to pay it. They came out very quickly and got us back up and running right before a cold snap. So anyway, that 240 account is going to be hurting for that reason. Another thing I don't want to say out loud because I'm going to jinx myself, the garage door was acting a little bit funny today. It went back to behaving. That's all I'm going to say about that. Do not like to talk about that door out loud. Children's library redesign, we have, a survey has gone out, and they have compiled that information. They have sent me a kind of a PowerPoint that I think is going to be used in the small group meetings as we go into planning this. So my next step is to schedule, so youth staff will go in one. I think some library and city staff will go in another, board members and friends board members. 2 of each will go into a third meeting. So I'm going to try to schedule those. That is going to get real complicated because of the migration coming up, which is my other update. So LinkCat, as I have told you, is being replaced by a new system. We call this a migration. It's kind of a terrible thing to go through. We will not have access to either system April 13th, 14th, 15th, possibly the 16th. So now they're not sure if we're going live on the 16th or the 17th. During that time, we will have offline circulation, we call it. So if you come in with your library card, we can check you out, but that is all we can do. We cannot update your card. We cannot make a new card. We cannot pay fine, lost item fees. We cannot look you up. We have no mechanism to do that. We don't have a catalog to look up items. It is going to be a really bare bones functioning kind of a week. The functionality for when it comes back up for patrons, I think, will be much better, but I think also less of a adjustment. I think it's going to look very similar. It's just going to function better. For staff, it's going to be a real adjustment. Like, it is a very different system. It's better. This will be good in the long run. We're all happy to be doing. We're not happy to be going through it, but we'll be happy to have the software in the end. So that is coming up. We are going to be closed on the 14th, so we're bringing in staff for either a morning or an afternoon training session, so they can get some real hands-on time. And we're going to have, I think, a bingo card. We're like, make a new card, check out, check in, do a lost item, do a damaged item, and see if we can get everybody kind of up to speed by the time we go up either on Thursday or Friday. And then we are going to have more staff than usual on the desks when we go live. So fingers crossed. I think it'll be good. It's just kind of hard. Patrons, we're trying to get the word out to the patrons. We're going to put signs up around the building. Starting on Sunday, we are going to start stuffing holds with bookmarks, I think a week and a half out. Doing Facebook, we're doing the website, doing all that kind of stuff. We're going to do a video of FACTv to get out the word that way. So we're kind of trying to get word out as best we can. And we would just ask that people be very patient with us, both in the downtime and when we're getting used to the new system. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. I have no personnel update, which is great. Love that. And strategic planning, I don't have anything there either. I think we are all very focused on the migration and making that as smooth as possible. So not a lot of time for other things. Yeah.
Wendy, I have a personnel question.
Yes.
Do we have any openings for summer part-time positions for, like, teenagers looking for a summer job or something?
We will have outreach assistant positions. We tend not to post those until May.
Okay.
In the past, we've tried to be efficient and do it early, and then we get kids are just not looking yet until later. So we typically do that, I think, in maybe in late April, early May. Typically, we have 2 positions that do about 10 hours a week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just one quick thing about the children section.
Yeah.
I was talking to the Children Museum, and they have a room full of things that they circulate out of their exhibition that can perhaps be donated.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know.
Yeah, it might be worth.
You might want to reach out to.
Yeah. Will you share?
Because Tom's
Is it
not.
Tom?
Tom's not there anymore.
He's not.
No.
Where'd he go?
He retired.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah. But
Tom used to be our guy at the Madison Community Foundation before he went to the.
So he suggested with the remodeling, you might want.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. I will mention that to Bachman. That would be a fun field trip.
Yeah.
And if they will loan some of those interactive exhibits out, I almost wonder if we could get 2 of them and get some user data that says, which one do you like better? That could be helpful for informing an end concept.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
So
that's
Tom
awesome.
said to let you
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent.
I've got goosebumps. I'm all excited.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
For the train migration,
Yes.
so you said it might go live on Friday, and you have extra staff. Are you planning on having extra staff Saturday and Sunday as well?
No, but it will be all hands on deck. So Friday, I don't know that so much that we have extra staff as we have less backroom, off desk time, and more on desk time.
Okay.
So having 2 people on the circ desk at all times. We don't have room for 2 people on any of the other desks, but yeah, I think we'll be roving, loitering, seeing how things are going. The circ staff are working on sort of a cheat sheet of we'll do training and everything, but if there's somebody in front of you and you're nervous, can you pick up a little cheat sheet, it's just a flow chart of how do you make a new card if you blank at the last minute.
send them to Verona.
Yes. But don't let them check out.
But that's a good point, though. So we're the only ones during this window of at least our surrounding communities that are doing the migration at this time? Or is this
Everybody.
Okay.
So all the
going to
libraries
Verona
in
would-
South Central will be down at the same time.
Just their problem on that day.
And I did reach out. We had talked about if other libraries were closing for training, and many of them are. Most of them are closing the same day that we're closing. Some of them are doing, I think, Monday instead. I think just depending on what they could manage. We have the laptop lab coming from South Central. This is one of the great things about South Central is you can order online, and they send us boxes of laptops so we can set this whole room up and have as many staff training at the same time as we can, which should help. And then during the downtime, when we're doing offline circ, we're going to have checkout at all the desks, because that is going to be a much slower process than using a self-checkout machine. But it'll be worth it.
Yes. And then is there anything due during that time?
No, we are really encouraging people, so we've marked them as closed days.
Gotcha.
So there will be nothing with those due dates, and we are really encouraging people, like on the signs and stuff, to keep your stuff, because this reminds me of COVID a little bit. Like, we're just gonna have boxes of stuff that we can't do anything with, we can't check it in. I don't think they've yet decided if delivery will stop or keep going. I think in the last migration, they had, so you would get returns, and if it belonged to another library, you just put it in a box for them, and it would just go to them. Like the big libraries want to do that, and the little libraries don't. Kind of makes sense about who has space to store things. So they'll make a decision on that. I think we're fine either way. We've got places that we can put boxes if we need to. But then we're going to have a big push to get things checked in and processed on the back end of that. And it's a weekend, which is not great. So we've got extra shelvers coming in. I don't know if it's that weekend or if it's the following week, but we're doling out all the hours we have to get all of that. And we've got great shelvers. They'll be fine. They'll be very busy.
So that does raise a question for me as we kind of look at the last little bit of the agenda here.
Yeah.
So our next library board meeting is currently April 15th, right in the middle of that window. Is it something that would help to move that with staff preparation, or?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Tim and I are not generally on the desk.
Yeah.
So this is less hard on us.
Okay.
I'm going to be like the snack person. Like, I'm going to order the pizza for lunch on training day and make sure that everybody is very well fed.
Okay.
More have to
important
be
stuff.
moved because of tax.
Oh, yeah,
Because of the library.
Do your taxes early.
Yeah. Just want to make sure that if it would be a burden on you.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that. I don't think
Good thought.
it would help us.
Okay.
It might be better for Tim and I to be in here.
I was kind of thinking that, yeah.
Noted.
Okay, anything else?
Nope.
Then we'll entertain a motion. Well, let's see, we should announce that our next meeting will be April 15th, right after you drop your taxes in the mail or push the send button. 5:30 right here in this room. And I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Gang, thank you. And we are, well, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we are adjourned. Thanks for joining us.
Excellent.
Mariah.
Thank you. Good to see you, Mariah.